What's going on YouTube? This is Russell with Capstone Home Theater. We're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and today we're going to be showing you guys a Lutron Radio Raw 3 Lumaris install in a kitchen. We're going to be doing some under cabinet lighting and some toe kick lighting to add some layers to the space. And we're going to turn the camera around now and show you what we're working with today to make all of this happen. Alright guys, we've got the camera turned around and we're going to move from left to right to show you everything that we're going to be installing today. So right now what we've got in front of me is the Radio Raw 3 processor from Lutron. Basically this guy is going to be the device that allows us to set all of our scenes, set up things like time clocks and things like that. So when we want our lights to turn on at say 6:30 in the morning at 20% at 1800 Kelvin, this is what allows us to do that. So this is going to be the first piece that we set up in our rack or in a ceiling in a cabinet somewhere out of sight, out of mind. The only important thing to note is this guy has to be within about 70-75 feet of the controllers that we're going to be installing. But before we get to the controllers, we do need a power supply. So Lutron makes two different types of power supplies for their linear lighting, an A and a B. Today we're going to be working with A because, let me take this plate off here. With the A power supply, this is going to allow us two different outputs for our linear lighting. And so if you see in front of me, we're going to be running linear lighting underneath this cabinet, and ultimately the cabinet over there by the coffee bar. That's going to be one strip, and then we're going to have our toe kick lighting underneath here, and you can kind of see we've got this cabinet open where we're going to be installing, well, we're going to be pulling our power from behind there, and we're going to go over the cabinets, punch through the wall there, and then come down, and you can kind of see we've got our power wire hanging out right there, and we'll show you the path that takes to get down there. And so we can run two separate lengths there, which is why we've got that, and then we'll run our power in right here. You can see load, neutral, and ground. And once we've got those plugged in, we'll cap that guy, and that'll just sit in that cabinet right there, out of sight, out of mind. Moving on to our controllers, these are going to be what communicate back to the processor. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but we've got our power on the right side. So our power is going to go in over here, and then we're going to plug in our Lutron 6 conductor wire that we've got right here. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera, but we've got 6 different conductors in there that are going to allow us to control our light moving from 1800 Kelvin all the way up to 4000 Kelvin, everything in between, plus RGB. So if we want to have fun with our lights and change them to green, blue, red, to match a special occasion, sporting events, what have you, gives us the flexibility to do that. And then we'll be able to control everything through the Lutron app, but for some convenient, quicker control, we've got our Radio Raw 3 Picos right here that give us a few different quick settings where we can turn things on to full brightness, half brightness, 25% brightness at a particular Kelvin, and then of course off. And just moving on over, we've got two different types of extrusion we're going to be using today. So in front of us, we've got this angled extrusion, which is going to go underneath our toe kicks, and we've got a little bit of pre-cut tape light right there to show you guys, as well as, I don't know if we can see this here, but we've got a frosted lens covering for our extrusion. Basically, that's going to help diffuse the light evenly so that we don't get what's called dotting, which is where we see each individual LED on the floor or on the countertop. So this just helps make it a more professional install and makes it look less like a college dorm room. So to get those extrusions put in, we've got here the angled clips that we're going to put underneath our toe kicks. And the other options are going to be these squared off ones that'll go underneath our under cabinets. And last but not least, we've got a roll of about 100 feet of our tape that we can cut to length. That way everything matches up perfectly underneath our cabinets and our toe kicks. So now that you guys have seen all the equipment we're going to install today, let's move over to our cabinets and take a look and see what we've got going on there. Okay guys, little progress report. We're going to show you guys where we put the power supply, and we're right above the range, and we've got our Lumaris PH3A right here. I'm going to take this off just to show you guys where we've got everything wired. So we've got our two 16-2 low voltage wires coming in right here. We've got our separator right here, keeping it away from our AC 110 that we've just got plugged in. Well, we will have plugged in right over here once we're all finished. But we've got our 16-2 running up above the cabinets. We'll take a little detour up there for us. And here's where we're coming up into the cabinets. We've got a few low volt staples punched down there to keep everything tidy. We've got our controller. This is what's going to be controlling and communicating back to the processor for the under cabinets. And then running over here into our brush plates, these are running all the way down to the toe kicks. So this guy, we've just got running into the wall, got this plate here, even though no one's gonna see up here, makes it look nice, neat, and clean. And so this is running straight down the wall, behind our cabinets, behind our countertops, and then moving down here into our cabinet. You can see, well, let's get a closer look. So here's our other brush plate where we've got the other end of that wire going into our controller for our toe kicks. So nice, neat, and clean. And then moving the camera out of the cabinets, we've obviously got the drawers taken out just so it's easier to get to. But once these drawers go in, you can see that everything's run along the top here. It's not going to interfere with the drawers, so once everything's closed, everything's going to be out of sight, out of mind. And we've got our wire running down here, and we haven't secured this to the edge yet, but we will, just so that it's also out of sight, out of mind. We've got our hole punched through the bottom right here with a little bit of excess slack so that we can get this terminated and punched into our clip that will clip into the LED strand that we'll have tucked up under here. And our next step is going to be, let's see if we can get a closer view. So we've got our toe kicks, and we're gonna need to install that metal extrusion. And so off camera, we went ahead and installed all these clips all the way down. So our next step is to clip that extrusion in, terminate our wire, and then once we've got that done, we'll come back and give you guys another progress report. All right, guys, so we're pretty close to finishing the toe kicks in the area we've been working. We've just got to cut this bit of extrusion to length, pair it up with the one that we've already got installed. And so once we cut this, we'll go back inside, get this set up, and then run our tape. Okay guys, we're getting pretty close to the fun part. We've got, I don't know if y'all can see that, but we've got our 6-conductor wire cinched down into our little connector here, which is ultimately going to connect to our tape light. So we've got each of these conductors in a particular order: blue, green, red, brown, white, black, which is very important that those match. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera. Is it gonna zoom in or adjust our focus for us? No? Okay. Well, on the tape there are markings that let us know the order that these need to match up, which is gonna be from left to right: blue, green, red, brown, white, black, which is important because if we don't get those in order, then our tunable white isn't gonna work, our RGB isn't gonna work, and ultimately we're not going to get the results that we want. So let's go ahead and cinch this down on the connector, and we'll run the rest of our tape into the extrusion that we've got underneath our toe kicks. Okay, so before we stick all that on, we're going to go ahead and plug this in, make sure we got our tape terminated correctly, because if we didn't, we have to unstick all that. It's not going to be a whole lot of fun. So let's get that plugged in and see how we did. Okay guys, we got that plugged in, and good news, our LED tape light is all glowing the same color, which is exactly what we want. So we've got about 2 feet put in the extrusion. We'll go ahead and set the camera down and work our way all the way down. And once we get the tape in the extrusion, then we'll pop back over here and we'll get our frosted lens put on there so that it diffuses properly. And after we get all that set up, we'll come back for an update. Okay guys, as you can see, we've got all of our tape lights in our extrusion. We'll get down here to show you guys all the way down. Nice angle pointing down toward the floor. And as you can see, we've got the college dorm room look right now with the exposed LEDs. We're going to go ahead and put the frosted tips on and diffuse this light, and we'll give you another shot once we got that taken care of. All right guys, we're just about finished with this project. Just have to give you guys a little walkthrough and show you where we've got all of our toe kick lighting along that stretch of our counter space, and then Off camera, we ended up getting this side as well, and then you can see we've already got our under cabinet lighting on this side as well as behind me over there. So we're just going to walk you through where everything is. So earlier y'all saw that we had our power supply right up there hidden away, out of sight, out of mind, and we've got our wires going up and over for our under cabinet lighting right here, and nice and neatly tucked away we've got our wire. If you can even see that, we've got it tucked in along the edge of the cabinet. That way it's extremely discreet, and we've got it that way on both sides. Coming under the cabinet, you can see we've got those LED strips nice and diffused all the way down, giving us nice consistent light. And then moving down to our floor, we've got our toe kicks on full blast. So at night, whenever you're getting up to get a drink of water, something like that, or just setting the mood for a dinner party, we've got nice consistent light all the way along the floor here, as well as over by the refrigerator. That way it's nice and consistent. And another cool feature about our Lutron system, we'll show you on the iPad right here. Let's zoom out, jump into our Lutron app, and we're going to come down here to our kitchen, and you can see we've got our under cabinet lighting and our toe kicks. And so we're going to go ahead and select our under cabinet lighting, and in here you can see that we can control our temperature and the intensity of the light. So I'm going to back this up so that hopefully y'all can see. If we want to warm things up for the mood, we can bring our lights down to 1800 Kelvin, and if it's daylight outside, doesn't quite match that, we can bring this all the way up to roughly 4000 Kelvin. And if 4000 Kelvin at 100% brightness is a little too bright, we can bring this down to 10%, 20%, 50%, or all the way up to 100. And then similarly, we have tunable white, but we also have RGB color control. So if we want to come over here, I don't know how much of that RGB screen you can see, but we've got our slider over here for 0 to 100%. So same thing we were just doing. If we want to zero that out, that's lights off. But let's say we've got we're big Dallas Stars fans and the Stars win, and we want to set a nice green theme in the kitchen. We can. Maybe we're Cowboys fans, SMU fans, want to set the theme to blue, or, you know, I don't know, maybe it's Valentine's Day, we want to set the mood there, or let's see, St. Patrick's Day, all kinds of fun stuff we can do over here. So most of the time we'll probably stick around in our natural, somewhere between 1800 and 4000 Kelvin. But that is for our under cabinets. We can also do the same thing with our toe kicks. So right now we're at 3000 Kelvin. We can crank it up to 4000, drop our intensity down to 50%, drop our Kelvin temperature down to 1800, warming things up at night. Maybe we just want a little bit of light at night, so when we get up to get a drink of water, we don't, you know, blast our retinas with full brightness. And same thing with the undercabs. We can switch over to our RGB display and match everything to the under cabinets if we want, or if, I don't know, maybe we're feeling extra patriotic, we can go blue for our toe kicks and red for our under cabinets, and we'll just let the sunshine coming in through the windows be our white for our red, white, and blue. So That is about it for our install today. Next time we'll show you guys, we'll do the install for the coffee bar, and we'll also do an install in the bathroom that involves a motion sensor, so the lights kick on, our toe kick lights kick on at night when we get up to go to the bathroom. Again, that way we're not getting blasted with 4,000 Kelvin of lights, preventing us from going back to sleep. But that's a wrap. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys are interested in any kind of lighting projects in your kitchen or home theater, give Capstone Home Theater a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd be happy to help you out on your next project. Until then, give us a like and a follow if you enjoyed this content, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys.